After 5 years, I can confidently say almost every small streamer is making the same mistakes. I can say that because every day I spend hours helping those streamers both in the comments and in our Discord of something like 90,000 people. I do this because I like pain, I guess. How do I install it? What's a font? Today, I'm gonna cover a lot of the most common mistakes I see genuinely daily. If you've watched this channel before, you might have heard me talk about these already, but here I am, I guess, just... That's me beating a dead horse. Streamer tip, always explain the joke. Straight out of the gate, I think the major one is just thinking your game choice or location in a game category is going to matter for growth at all. Guys, it's not 2020. We're not desperately scrolling through Twitch categories in search of human contact. We can go outside. I mean, we don't, but we could. It doesn't matter how small, niche, unknown, abstract, or just strange a game is. And in the same vein, it doesn't matter if it's as oversaturated as Fortnite. Because yes, Twitch doesn't have an algorithm, but YouTube and TikTok do. And the reality is, so many people are uploading absolute garbage to those platforms, which is something I'm going to cover a little bit later in the video, so stick around for that. But because of the quality they're uploading, it means that if you put in even the smallest amount of effort, you can suddenly start bringing in decent views and in turn getting stream viewers no matter what game or category you choose. Why would you want to spend hours playing a game you don't really enjoy hoping it's going to help you get viewers when you could just play something you love, make semi-decent offline content, and grow a community who loves the same things? And bonus won't leave the moment you switch to a game you do love. That's not rhetorical. Genuinely, please comment the answer. I do not understand this logic. Because if you're desperately looking for the right game to play to grow or aggressively tracking category position, then I'm sorry, you're this guy. Where am I? I mentioned before how people are uploading garbage to all these platforms, and the truth is, you probably are. And I don't mean that as a collective you, I mean you. Yeah, fucking you. You're uploading trash. Look, this isn't really your fault. Pretty much every fake stream coach under the sun has been desperately telling people to upload their Twitch clips to TikTok or YouTube Shorts. The first tip of this video is literally that. Wait, so you go off and use those terrible tools that convert Twitch clips to vertical and then post them automatically for you, and you get 300, 500, maybe 1,000 views, and yeah, you feel like a pretty big deal. Except those views aren't real. And I'll explain why those views aren't real in a sec. But first, really, the only question you have to ask yourself is, why are you mass uploading unedited slop while the people who are actually growing are spending their time coming up with creative, engaging, valuable vertical content and then editing it to be enjoyable to watch? No, seriously. I think this happens because you guys don't really watch vertical content, so you just assume it's all trash. You don't see creators like Reaps who spend hours crafting his shorts to get millions of views, or this guy named Eljay who was getting millions of views on his shorts despite that terrible neck beard. That's why I made a full breakdown of how I got 30 million shorts views in 6 months. I'll link that at the end of the video for you, so stick around for that. But quickly, why are those views not real? The short of it, vertical content doesn't have thumbnails. It doesn't need a bait to click from a viewer. It's just a big scrolling feed. So YouTube and TikTok have to show the content to a viewer just to learn if it's good. This guarantees every piece of content will get around 2,000 views because the platform is testing it. If viewers who are showing it instantly swipe away or don't watch it for long or just don't engage with it positively, then the test will stop. And in reverse, if the test is good, it keeps going and you'll get tens of thousands of views or even millions. If you want to learn how to get out of this 2,000 view testing period, then again, keep watching. Video at the end is a full breakdown. I reveal my entire analytics, everything. Earlier, I asked why you're uploading unedited slop, and I just want to quickly jump in before the flood of comments start ripping me to shreds. I understand you're a beginner. I understand you don't know how to edit. I understand you work a 9-to-5, maybe multiple jobs, or you have kids. Trust me, I am not some out-of-touch rich YouTuber whose dad owns a yacht and plays golf on weekdays. Well, I am, but only if you consider drunkenly throwing empty beer cans at your son's head while he cries as golf. No, seriously, I get it. This stuff is brutal, but most of you are only making it harder on yourselves by streaming so much. I'm not kidding. Most new streamers asking me for help, I check their channels and they're doing 30, 40, 50 hours a week to under 3 viewers. That's a full-time job. Cut that in half. No, cut it in quarters. I don't actually care what you cut it in. Just make sure if you want to stream, just pick 3 days a week and do 3 to 4 hours. Use the rest of your spare time to learn how to edit in DaVinci Resolve. That software is free and industry standard. And before you comment it, editing is a skill. It's not something you're born good at. Babies aren't being popped out of their mothers holding keyboards and knowing shortcuts with a transition pack built in. There are millions of free tutorials about how to edit. Heck, if you want, comment on this and I'll make the 1,000,001th tutorial. Except mine will be better, because you'll have to pay for it. No, paid courses and dumb. I'm joking. Also, side note, by streaming so much, you're making it extremely difficult for yourself. The best streamers and streams I've ever done have been when I've had time away for a holiday, my honeymoon, or even when I worked full time still. I'd come back to streaming with all these funny stories, jokes, and interesting things to talk about. But on the flip side, when you do nothing except stream and watch streams, you end up with nothing worth saying. So I guess what I'm saying is, go touch grass. Earlier I said game choice doesn't matter, and in the context of that tip, it really doesn't. But also, it really does. A lot of you guys want to be variety streamers or creators, meaning you just do whatever you want. But then assholes like me spend all their time telling you to niche down. And when I say niche down, what you actually heard was, play just one game. A niche isn't a single game or even a group of games. A niche is a group of people. It's an audience who all like the same things. PointCrow is a great example of a Nintendo niche. He doesn't just play Zelda, he plays Mario, Pokemon, Nintendo fan games, challenge mods, and then people who love all those things also love games like Hollow Knight or Celeste, so he can branch out into those. Or because he does challenge content, he can try out Elden Ring or Minecraft challenges. That's just a tiny part of the content he makes, but even just looking at that, you can't deny PointCrow is a variety creator. Well, you can, but you'd also be wrong because he has variety. He just is also appealing to the same audience to keep them coming back. You can name pretty much any massive variety creator, and when you actually dig down and look at them, they do have a consistent niche. Or at the very least, they've been uploading for over 15 years and they could literally bend over, fart into the mic and get 1 million views. I'm kidding. The best tip I learned for niching down comes in 2 parts. First, to think about what I love to play and what I could talk about for years to come. Pretty quickly, I realized indie games, specifically unknown or difficult indie games, or games where the choices feel like they matter. And then once you have that idea, literally just start actually making content, because you can't figure out if something is right for you if you just never try it. Hell, I made an entire channel devoted to Pokemon because I am a massive Pokemon fan. So much so, when I tell people I'm married and have a kid, they're like, what? How's that possible? You like Pokemon? That channel got 45,000 subs, 30 million short views, 500,000 long form views. Then I realized, man, Pokemon fans are kind of elitist and toxic. I'd hate to be one of them. Moving on, I think another problem with that channel was I was trying to be what I thought viewers wanted to see. I wasn't just being my authentic and unashamed self because, you know, it's scary to put yourself out there on the internet. People are mean. This meant viewers didn't really have anything to connect with. The content I made just looked and sounded like everyone else. Therefore, it's forgettable, which is an insanely common and serious mistake most streamers make. You go look at any small streamer and you could pretty much copy and paste their exact setup. They're all doing the same minimalist overlays these days because they got told minimal is what looks better. They're playing games they got told are good for blowing up, or what the big guys do. They've all got the same bots, the same jokes, the same channel point redeems. It's just all this big blur, which is why when someone comes along like Ghibli, who has an insanely unique and unaesthetic design while also being hilarious, he stands out on the platform. Heck, I don't want to compare myself to Ghibli, but I did the same thing. I spent the first 6 to 8 months green screened into a milk aisle. I had so many people join my stream and ask if I was actually in a grocery store because it looked so real. Didn't have to look real though. Tianat, a friend of mine, started their streaming journey by green screening themselves into an obviously fake hot tub. If you have a dumb and funny idea that makes you laugh, there are probably thousands of people who will also find that dumb and funny. So do it. Just be ready for those few really specific hate comments about how you're balding, have a pimple on the right-hand side of your face, and that you've got a really bad mustache. Side note, I'm really trying to take that advice more on this channel. I've seen a steady decline of my personality and jokes in these videos since I started back in 2020, mostly because the constant criticism I think really affected my mental health. So if you enjoy some of the stupid jokes I include alongside the advice today, can you let me know in the comments? It would mean the world to me. Okay, moving on. Brand integrations. Ugh. God, I hate that phrase. It doesn't matter how many times I hear it or say it, it just sounds like something a 20-something white guy with way too much hair gel is gonna say to me. What do you do for work?
Brand integrations.
Jesus, what the hell happened to you?
Hey, son.
But we have to talk about it because you guys are taking so many brand integrations. You'll be at under 10 viewers taking on a full-time contract with an energy drink brand named like it's one of the American Gladiators. They'll make you put their logo on screen, in the chat, in the panels, in the title, ask for you to shout them out once an hour. Hell, a lot of the time, they won't even give you the products for free. They want it promoted and they make you buy it just with a small discount. And then only pay you if your viewers go and use the link to buy more of the product, with the percentage you get being minuscule. I'm not just talking about energy drink brands here. This happens with all sorts of brands, especially when you're starting out. But even my size, having brands or sponsors involved can really hurt your overall content and reach. I've had videos that I thought were amazing completely flop because the sponsor segment had such a bad retention rate. Skip forward 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is, the contract is over and I'm allowed to go back and edit that sponsor segment out with the YouTube editor. Pretty quickly after that, I see those videos start to ramp up and get a lot of views. So just be wary, be careful, and don't let your content suffer for a few bucks. But hey, I get it. You guys desperately need extra cash. You've all got gas. No, not like that. Gear acquisition syndrome. Gas. This was a term we used to use in the film industry when we saw new rich kids come onto set. They'd all have this shiny equipment they barely knew how to use and really didn't need. Then I became a streamer and holy crap, if I thought the film industry was gassy, hell, streaming is Jupiter. Just cut that. Again, it's not your fault. You get told you need all this crap to grow or be taken seriously, like Stream Decks, Go XLRs, Shure SM7Bs, but in reality, you can grow as a creator with absolute budget gear. Samson QTU is the best mic for a beginner. It's 80 bucks and will never need to be upgraded or replaced. Logitech C922 is still an amazing webcam a decade later. Under 100 bucks. Newer GL1 lighting panels, 100 bucks. OBS, free. DaVinci Resolve, free. SteelSeries Sonar digital mixer, free. If you guys want to see me review budget gear, then please click here. If you want that video about how I got 30 million shorts views, please click here. If you want to support me, drop a nice comment or become a member of the channel for just $1 a month. You get a badge, some emotes, and every member I get, I'll fight an American Gladiator. Seriously. See you next week.